You see Josh washing his hands. They're giving me a hard time
Nice.
in chat. What's going on, Internet? And welcome to OnlyCops. We are here on Tuesday for the non-body cam related stream. I am in desperate need of a haircut, but we're dealing with it today. I've been busy. I want to thank Keith, or as I call him, Dad, for hanging out with me here today. He is going to represent the deputies while I represent municipal police. Him and I are both on the better part of our lives where we're no longer in law enforcement by choice, and we are going to apply our expertise as well as the expertise of chat into this. We will be keeping score per the usual. You guys can see we did game night last week, and y'all can see how insane this scorecard got. I do it like an absolute FUD in a notebook because it feels like home to me. But we're going to go ahead and say my hellos, and then we're going to start score just like normal. Chris, this is the new Chris, not the OG Chris, is here. Hello, you are number one. Pals? I think this is Poe. But Feder Pals, what's going on? You did indeed get second, and a notorious millennial also jumping the gender assignment for this name prefix. It is good to see you. Christy C is here. Jordan is here. The other Jordan is here. You are not fourth, my friend. I might have gone to public school, but I can count. Phoner, it's good to see you. Night sticks out. Toastar, Courtney Card is good to see you. I said booby traps. Hello to you as well. Lunar Wolf Knight, I'm doing really good on reading today, Dad. You should be proud of me.
I am proud.
Welcome to the Tuesday stream. The Tick Man. What is going on? He said he finally made it. Welcome. If you have questions, please let me know. The Dan Hammer is indeed in chat. He gives us his traditional "What's up, ninjas?" Brian Miner, Notorious Emu, is giving me what we say in Spanish is the ojo, which is the eye. Robert Carson. Let me see if I'm missing somebody. Kubli. Hello. Hardy, it's good to see you. The other Dan. I heard Dan, not you, Dan. That's the Dan Hammer. Lucky Duck, it's good to see you, dog. I think I said hi to. What's up? What's that? Hold on. Was that a bobcat? I got it. We're doing good today. Katie Plays, it's good to see you. Is that a chihuahua? Or something in her little icon there? Raging Phoner became a second responder in chat. Shout out to your boy. Alex, it's good to see you. 10 points for the notebook. I'll let that be for society. How about that? I'll give that to society. So, society. We'll plus 10 society there for the notebook. Little Doc, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for monetizing. I'm nervous is going to be an unmonetizable stream. Alex, I think I said hi to. Joe is also here. Lisa Rowe, it is good to see you. Oh, I love those paramedic videos. EMS in general, not fire, only when you're EMS alone will I give you a pass as a first responder. Other than that, you are a second responder. Lenny, it's good to see you, dog. And that's everybody. Christian Halsey, thank you for the super chat. Oh, Mom's here. And Mama Bear's here. Is Sarah here? I don't see Sarah. This is lies.
John Sarah C. is. I said booby traps.
Is that Sarah?
It is.
She would be. Kai also, hello. I think I got everybody. Complain to me if I did not get you. If you are indeed here, go ahead and drop a like. We're going to be doing law enforcement adjacent stuff. We're starting off with our favorite second responder here. Sarah. Christian Halsey, also thank you for the super chat. We're going to go ahead and have State Boys per the usual. County. We're keeping score. For the uninitiated, we keep score throughout the stream, and I just give score updates because it's a fun thing to do. Municipal. We'll go ahead and do just second responders. since we're already starting off with a video for them. I have Society. We have Suspects. I think we do one for media as well. And then last but not least, the Feds, who start off at -100 per Dad's Rules.
There we go.
Welcome to also our first stream post getting 16,000 subscribers. Shout out to everybody that's here. And to I want to give a big special thank you to my Vigilante group. You guys are really rad and have pulled all of these videos that we're going to watch today. And then for everybody else that's part of our Discord, if you'd like to join that Discord, you can do so for paying as little as $1 a month, either here on YouTube to become a member, or you just go through Patreon and you can do it there. That is my pitch. Let's get to the show. Shining my boots to this, Katie. That sounds subjective or suggestive. Pam.
Oh, is that Pam?
Dude, hold on. I gotta pin this. I'll give a quick shout out to Pam. I love you.
That's
and
awesome, Pam.
I'm happy to hear good news. That makes me happy.
Yes.
I read Oh My Gosh and I read Josh, and I'm having a hard now. My dyslexia is failing me. I will never get to it because I never watch it with us. Oh, whatever.
Fire rescue.
Talk about Goonies, probably.
Yeah, I need to go get checked out. For what? Can I ask why you have a pencil in your forearm? Because he's a psychopath. Shouldn't have high-fived my kid. You stabbed him in the forearm with a pencil for giving your kid a high five? Yep, I told him not to do it again. You're insane, bro. It was a high five. And he did it again. So I gave him a little leaded number 2 reminder of what happens when you don't listen to me. This is the 2nd time this month. You need help. I don't mess around. Dude, you are literally you shouldn't high-five my kid. Your daddy doesn't have any more pencils, does he? Fire rescue.
This is those calls where fire shows up, realizes it's a PD call, and just slowly backs out. And it's like, go ahead and roll PD.
Send the guns.
Go ahead and send the people with guns.
That's what Jason Ford has. We're gonna need the guns over here.
Yeah, I'm not. This totally happens. I totally believe that fire makes scene on stuff they probably shouldn't be at. That's oftentimes dispatch's fault. Because they won't kind of read between the lines of like what the caller's saying, right? Mm-hmm. A fight call in general, I don't think FD would ever make scene on that unless PD cleared it. I mean, maybe out in the boonies where they let explorers ride out. I've heard some wild stories, but in general, in the more professional circles of emergency response, FD's not making scene on that. But shout out to them for trying to work it. I'm going to give them +5 for second responders for not panicking. -15 for dispatch. You know what? I'll allow it. Whatever, dispatch for sending them. I'll -15. Yeah, you probably should not send the hose draggers / touchers to go on scene for a call like that. Did Josh say boonies or Goonies? Don't talk about the Goonies. Y'all are so salty about that.
Now, also walking up to a woman's car,
That's some hurt
pulled me
feelings
over.
over
You're
that.
lucky I didn't have my pepper spray on me. It scared the ever living out of me as a
you
woman.
would not, if you weren't going through emails,
Sir,
you would probably be more observant.
I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm telling you, as a woman, I'm actually shaking right now because you scared the ever living out of me.
I've made over
because
7,000 traffic
Sir,
stops,
I
and I've never been
that,
pepper sprayed.
But you,
So.
I understand that.
He put it out in the ether, though. Was that a side quest? Is he like... Is it like an invitation? We'll finish the video.
Sir, but I'm telling you, as a woman, you made me feel unsafe.
Okay, I'm a public safety official now.
Please listen to what I am saying. You're seeing this through the eyes of me trying to get out of a ticket, which I'm not.
Oh, you won't get out of it, yeah.
I am letting you know, as somebody who pays your salary. Sir, please.
No, I'm no longer going to listen to you.
I can't believe that you won't even listen.
No, as soon as you said, I pay your salary, we're done.
Just so you know, also.
I mean, he's given a lot of sass. I mean, sass isn't like illegal per se. I wouldn't even consider this level of sass misconduct. Like if I was a administrator here, I'm probably not. I'll probably give him like a yo dog, like maybe tone down the sass. But I'm not documenting the conversation. We're not doing any of that. I do think, not that this is a body cam breakdown, although this is a body cam. But I'm gonna say there's no way in hell this guy's not a municipal cop. 7,000 traffic stops. Maybe he's a cop for a long time, but this is definitely a day shift meter maid. Like even deputies, I don't think are doing that many traffic stops. Like,
oh no,
there's no way. Like I feel like y'all would have to stay available for stuff. I'm not saying you don't do any, but like 7,000's a lot. Like even if you were doing like 5 a shift, that's a lot of shifts. I don't know. Either way, this guy's probably knocking out like 20 in a day. I'm just gonna +2 it for at least giving her some sass back. But I didn't like the attitude. That'll be +2. You know what? Society is gonna lose 5 though, because she was way too extra.
Yeah.
We'll +5 that, or we'll -5 that, so they're at +5. I watched a thing. This is a total side tangent, but I watched a thing where this kid was kind of throwing a temper tantrum because he had to clean his room. This kid's like 5 or 6, right? It's a boy. He's throwing a temper tantrum on the floor because he needs to clean his room, but his room's really messy, and he's just like upset at how messy it is because he's gonna have to go clean it, right? And so he's whining to mom, and mom's standing there, you know, videotaping the thing. And dad just comes out of nowhere. Is like, boy, you better get up and clean that room. And the kid immediately gets up and just goes to start cleaning, right? And this lady goes on this weird, like, tangent about how, like, that's him not feeling safe, about, like, expressing how stressed out he is. And I was like, I thought it was good parenting. I was like, it's just cleaning your room, dog. Like, if the dog died and you were upset and crying, sure. Here's a time for us to be nurturing, right? Even as like dad, who you might be like I want you to grow up to be like an adult. Dog dies. I don't know. Friend gets into an argument with them. They get hurt. That's the time for that. But like if you're throwing a temper tantrum because you don't want to do something, like I don't know. That same lady who's giving the lecture about you need to give a safe space for the 6-year-old boy to like have his feelings also probably wouldn't be attracted to the guy that would eventually become in 20 years, right? Like, yeah. I'm just saying. I had beef with that.
221 possible, 1335 Webster, cross development.
Literally, Motorola. I wonder how many of those are still swimming around. These little Motorola handpiece, these specific like beige like colored Motorola, like you said you had the same. I had these. I had a different in-car radio, but I had this exact same handpiece. I bet you there's like 1.5 million of these things just rolling around. And probably more actually, because I didn't think about fire probably having similar ones or EMS. These are old as shit though. They sound good though.
My name is Alan Byard. I am the last San Francisco Patrol Special Police Officer. I was born in September '54 in this city. I am a native. I became a San Francisco Patrol Special Police Officer in 1977.
Jeez. That's a long time ago. This guy's been a cop since the 70s?
Yep.
When was this made? A year ago? Whoa, that's okay.
Before San Francisco was a city, it was just a small fishing village in 1847 before the gold rush. And the governor of the state appointed 2 constables.
Oh, it's kind of quiet.
They were paid by the citizens. It was figured out that in 1856 to put the special police in the city charter. So we are the original San Francisco
Keith, you're making noise.
before the San Francisco police was born. According to our rules and regulations, the patrol special police cannot give out tickets, moving violations, speeding. That's not part of my duties. The duties are different because I have an obligation to my clients. They come first. Everything else is secondary. My particular area is the marina and part of Pacific Heights. Basically, the boundaries go from the Palace of Fine Arts up Lion Street to Pacific Avenue, and Pacific Avenue to Van Ness, and to Van Ness Avenue to the waters of the bay. I used to work 7 days a week. I did that for about 12 years. I'm at the station usually around 7 o'clock at night, and then
So is this like
my-
a subset of police, or is this Dan said next?
patrol.
From what I understand, they had a district. Or they had like that neighborhood, like you said, and it was actually the businesses and the citizens that worked in that I believe they were the ones that paid him.
Interesting.
But he was attached to he had authority. I believe they had authority through the police department. But they're kind of like an adjunct wing of the police department, and they just work that one, almost like constables with their own little precincts. But
Yeah.
this one, their money, I believe, came from, and I think they were elected, and I think they were also, again, paid by the business owners in that district.
That's so weird. That's a weird deal. Robert, what's going on, homie? So you're paid by a specific area as opposed to just being a dispatched officer from a municipality or a jurisdiction like a county or something like that. That's weird.
To
Yeah.
designated beats and start going past all of my clients. I like to let everybody know that I'm out there, even the bad guys. I get out there at 7 o'clock, 7:30, and see a lot of them that are, people that are walking their dogs. They're going for a walk around the neighborhood. They see me, I see them. I use the spotlight a lot. I want to light up some of the places.
I tell you what, that spotlight prevented like 80% of my misdemeanors. It would always be like, I don't know, kids smashing in a parking lot or something. As I'm driving by and you see like that random car off by itself that's got like really foggy windows, you just kind of shine a little flashlight at it and drive off. They're gone by the time you come back. Like, that's what I wanted. I didn't want to identify y'all. I don't want to deal with any of that crap.
That I can't see too good because of the street lights.
Hand to hands. I broke up a lot of those. Just shining a flashlight at it. They walk away, and I was like, yeah, I know what y'all were doing. That's weird. So it's like a subscription service to policing?
Something like that.
Before the pandemic, I had about 85, 90 clients. After the pandemic and the crime rate started to go up, I got an awful lot of phone calls. For the most part, I'm in a fairly nice neighborhood.
I tell you what, private security does this already. We had this in a lot of our... they had zero police powers, nor could they tap into our radios. We didn't ask them for help. They would ask us for help periodically, but they would call 911 just like anybody else. But we had like private security was a thing, but not this, whatever the hell this is. Patrol special officer or whatever.
There are several nights that I will be working and nothing bad happens to me. People I don't know.
That's weird. That whole thing is weird. I'm gonna say San Francisco's a PD. I'm gonna take 5, dog. The fact that you allow that, fuck that. I would have some old bastard driving around telling me what to do. -5. That's weird. I have no beef with private security. I don't like this idea of having prepaid for security that's unique. Because if he's using like agency assets, I don't know if that's his own patrol car, maybe that's his own radio, and he has to take up like his own training. Like if he's having to maintain all of that, well, now he's just a private security person, right? But if he's using any city assets and he's getting to use those because some people are paying more than others for the service, that's weird to me. Like, it's a shared resource. It's like some people getting to go to the library but not others, just because they decided to pay like a higher subscription thing, or they get access to stuff, or I don't know. The whole thing's weird to me. I'm not saying it can't work, and I guess if that's what that city wants, they can have it, but it seems weird.
And there was a movie, Christian's Cuffs. There's a movie called Cuffs, Kuffs, with Christian Slater in it. He was the whole police specials that was in that movie. I'm trying to remember most of it.
2015?
Cuffs with a K.
Oh, Cuffs.
Yeah. There you go.
What? Oh, I need a trailer. Whoa, trying to type around this is... I just want to see it. I'm just curious.
An elite group of seasoned crime fighters.
Oh, you're dead.
Everyone a professional. Except this one.
Howdy. Never really saw myself as a cop. I'm more like the bad guys. Why are we doing so much running? Aren't we all gonna be in cars? I'm looking for a really big gun that holds a lot of bullets.
Move it!
The first time you screw up, you're out of business.
He's a kid.
Right, I am not a kid. Calm down.
Wait a minute, everybody!
But we all decided we don't want you as our boss.
You just have to take charge. Yeah, come in, 10-4.
Just checking it.
Yeah, come in, Ted.
Boss.
Surprise the bad guys?
Ah, we're gonna die, Sam! Oh, I scared you, didn't I?
You're under arrest. Lay down on the ground or something.
He's not a patrol special, he's a screw-up.
Got women.
Christian Slater.
What a weird. That whole thing is weird.
Yep.
Knock off a Police Academy. Don't get me started on Police Academy. That was terrible. What is this?
Morning rush hour on I-35W.
Pretty simple Monday for me.
Terry Maynard's work trip took an unexpected turn.
Getting onto that ramp there, I just happened to glance to my left, but it just struck me as this isn't right.
He saw a car in the ditch against a pole.
So I pulled off farther onto the shoulder, definitely saw some flames underneath the vehicle, and this just happened.
This traffic camera shows Terry running toward the car.
Look at Terry get after it. This trooper just came zipping in.
That's Sergeant Vang Yang.
You know, the first thought that came to my mind was just, we got to get this person out of the vehicle.
Sergeant Yang grabbed his baton.
And this is what I used to break 3 of the windows. It's burnt. I mean, that's how intense the heat was.
By now, a whole cavalry of help had arrived.
Another 10, 20 seconds, I think that fire probably would have gotten to the driver.
The closest of calls.
Why did I go? Well, I went because I help people. I want to help. I want to be there. Thank the Lord, there's others that are wired the same way.
Yeah, shout out to that old timer still getting after it. There's this... I had a really cool discussion. It was actually with one of our Patreon people in the Discord, where we were talking about having the desire to intervene. And I think it's a good thing. I think that goes into the mindset of wanting to be in law enforcement. That was State Boys. And who is this guy? Did they say who he was? Just an old guy.
During morning rush hour on I-35W.
Pretty simple Monday for me.
Terry Maynard's work trip took an...
Just Terry Maynard. I'm going to give 10 to society. I'll plus 10 that. Shout out to Terry. And then State Boys, I'm only going to give 5 because it's kind of your job. We'll plus 5 it. I should have said something. Okay, apparently this screamed to everybody here in the Discord. This only got 81 views and it's 2 years old. This guy's only got 300. You know what? Here, we'll give it. Well, wait. I'm gonna withhold my like until I decide whether I like this or not.
August 17th, 2020. I think like it's weird that when people have vanity plates, they just put the name of the car on their vanity plate. Like if it's a red Grand Am, they'll just put RD Grand M. Like that's your spot to shine, man, and you just put the name of the car. Like it's already there. You didn't need to spend $50 or whatever just to say the name of the car. Do something creative. Like I feel like there's got to be some dyslexic cops out there, you know, and like maybe if you just put like I, they'd never be able to call you in. They
can't confirm.
They'd be like, we got a Indigo, Echo, Indigo. Let me hold on, start over. Echo, Indigo. Fuck it, it's a red Grand Am. It's a red Grand Am.
I have done that at least once. You know what? I'll give it a like. Okay. As a dyslexic. Oh, I already fucked it up. Look at what we're doing here. Dyslexic. Former dyslexic cop. This is solid advice. Done. There's some love to Andy. Yeah, I could type plates in just fine, but yeah, when I had to read them, it was a struggle bus. The one nice thing is I don't have an issue with numbers getting flipped. I have an issue with letters for some odd reason, but it did help. Actually, reading it phonetically was easier than because our protocol was like you could imagine if I just do like Goku here, like George Ocean King Union was easy. But if I had to say G-O-K-U, somehow I would be like G-O-U-K on that. But when I had to do it phonetically, I had no issues. Wildest police sketches. This is 14 minutes. Maybe this is 4 minutes. I'll come back to Key and Peele. So like Edward 3, 0, Ocean, Edward 3 would trip you up. Or wouldn't trip you up. No, it would not. But if I had to do like E3, 0, O, E3, like it gets weird for me. Every once in a while, especially if you have to do it fast, it would mess with me. Suck it. That was live. Let the typos flow, Sarah. Oh my God. What are we saying here? Sierra Hotel, India. See, and that's also what's so. Keith, did you guys do cop phonetics or did you do military phonetics?
We did cop.
Yeah, it's like a very different. Like all the military guys would get real weird about it because there's like the NATO military phonetics, and my whole police career did, and now phonetics to me are cop phonetics, so it's very different. I don't know why we do them differently, but we do. I really think mostly because we have better radios. Like we're not asking our radios to like talk halfway across the planet. Ours are only going like through 2 repeaters to dispatch. And that might be half of it, but it's a thing.
There's also not like gunfire.
That's true. I don't have like tanks and shit. Yeah, going off. It's less complicated.
Yeah.
It is video that is difficult to watch and has not been seen publicly until now.
Let's
Medina
go.
County Sheriff's deputy capturing on camera
Deputized.
the shooting of a teenager in the eye at close range with a high propulsion pepper spray gun.
A warning that some of the footage that you're about to see in this story may not be suitable for all viewers.
You've been warned.
I'm gonna hit him now. Hey,
Oh, it was like a
pepper ball or something.
Pepper ball gun.
Something.
Also, I wonder why they hit him in the car. Like, I get it if he's being kind of a pain in the ass, but like, once he's in the car and handcuffed, like, unless you're putting leg restraints on, I don't know that you're doing all that.
Deputy that you see there was convicted of felony assault. Prosecutors say the teen
tagged him. Ooh.
Has traumatic and permanent injuries to his eye. Case that investigates Dylan Collier explores what led to that fateful encounter.
Yeah.
It's June 19th, 2023, after 10 p.m. as Medina County Sheriff's Deputy Jonathan Nunemaker pulls over a BMW along Highway 90.
I wonder why he had his body cam off his person. That was weird.
In Castroville.
Hey, shut it off! Shut it off! Stick your hands out the window, now!
The man taken into custody.
Do not move.
What am I arrested for?
I didn't say you're under arrest.
Will later be identified
as... Is that a deputy's thing? I risk a guy just to detain him? Bro, I'm sending the hell out of this one, Keith.
Start the backward count on it.
I'm at negative 15 already.
Yep. Same.
That's wild. So I'm doing -5 for attitude, -10 for considering that. I mean, I'm not saying legally it's not a detention, but like it's going to be hard to argue that he doesn't feel like he's under arrest.
is 17-year-old Brandon Sanchez. The vehicle was stolen from a robbery at gunpoint.
If he ran it and it's stolen, then this guy's very much under arrest.
No.
Okay.
In San Antonio just 4 hours earlier and contained a large quantity of drugs.
Those were Grand Theft Auto branded drugs.
Nice.
This is a classy joint here, dog.
A pellet gun resembling an AR-style rifle.
That's adorable.
And Sanchez's girlfriend, who is a minor. What transpired in this gas station parking lot over the next hour will change the course of the lives of the suspect and deputy forever. Body camera footage recorded by a Castroville Police Department officer shows Nunemaker becoming more and more agitated.
Kick my door again, you're gonna get hemmed up.
I didn't kick your door.
Sit there and shut up.
The deputy's attempts to inventory what's inside the stolen car interrupted time and again by Sanchez, who demands to know when he'll be taken to jail.
Is he seriously doing this? I'm gonna hit him. Can you hang on for a second? Ted, I'm gonna hit him. I'm done with this.
Nunemaker at one point retrieves leg shackles from his vehicle, but fails to put them on Sanchez, who continues to cause a commotion.
What's up?
Flex, mother, I dare you.
Bro, chill out, bro.
So are you going to deal with belligerent people in your vehicle? Yes, 1,000%. And like, is it annoying? Sure. This person's still going to jail at the end of the day. I don't know why you wouldn't potentially like have somebody else maybe conduct the search. You could just add the charges when you're on the way to the jail, just so you don't have to like put up with him being there on scene. I think the other issue I just have is like getting that upset about it. Like I had like a really annoying, being a cop, this is 2023. Anything after like late 2019, people got very emboldened to resist and whatever. It is what it is. But like to let a child like that get under your skins, maybe this job was not for you. It's not for him anymore, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bro, you just hit the out of my head.
After the 7th interruption, Nunemaker pulls out his department-issued pepper spray gun.
What the
Hey,
and fires it into the handcuffed Sanchez's eye from about 3.5 feet away. The teen screams in pain, unable to wipe his face, as Nunemaker calls for paramedics, telling a deputy supervisor minutes later.
Is he chill now?
I don't know. I haven't heard him kicking my windows. Well, you know, it's a great equalizer, isn't it?
The distance from which the shot was placed was definitely way too close.
Chris Heitman is sheriff of Marys County, Missouri.
I tell you what, if you work for a sheriff's office and the sheriff's already saying like, yeah, you fucked up, like,
yeah,
you fucked up.
And runs the less lethal instructor program for deputies statewide there.
You know, I can agree with a certain level of force, but that level rose way too high with that type of deployment, with that type of percussion weapon.
Other law enforcement in Medina County agreed. Castroville police at the scene notified their chain of command. Medina County Sheriff's Office leadership was then informed, and the case was handed over to the Texas Rangers. Less than a month after this incident, Nunamaker was indicted by a grand jury. Investigators determined
They filmed that with a drone. I'm going to give them a +10 for media. Just for being creative.
There you go.
Pepper spray had been discharged from the weapon at a speed of over 400 miles per hour. The solution.
Oh, hold on. That's only... you really shouldn't measure that by miles per hour. It really should be feet per second. And I bet you it's like closer to like 50 feet per second. Well, I guess we could do... Oh, I'm going to do some math here. Hold on. Hold on. You're dyslexic Josh doing some math. So if you got, what? I think it's 5,280 feet in a mile. Hold on. I got this. Tell me if I'm wrong. 5,280 in a mile times 400 divided by, right? I'm going to divide that by per second. And so how many seconds would there's 60 minutes plus times 60 is divided by 360. That's like 5,800 feet per second. That's kind of fast. That's not like bullet fast, but that's, well, no, there's no way that can't be correct. There's no way that was going 5,000 feet per second. No, nope. my math is wrong here. That would have gone through his head if it was going that fast. It was going. This is a weird unit of measurement for a pepper
solution, measuring at 4 million Scoville units, nearly twice as.
Oh, there he goes. Chris did it. 586 feet per second. Thank you. Still fast. Paintball guns go like 300 feet per second. Just to put that into context, like Millennial put the pie out there. Pie, Josh. Pie.
Pungent as the chip.
Most OC is around this many Scovilles, so that they're doing it for the news bit. But
from the infamous one-chip challenge. At trial in May, it took the jury less than an hour of deliberations to convict Nunamaker on both counts of aggravated assault by a public servant. He was given 7 years probation and is no longer eligible to maintain.
I think he got off pretty light, to be honest.
Yeah, that's pretty light.
Like, I mean, he's a felon, so he's losing a lot of rights there. And obviously, part of that's going to be you can't be Leo, but 7 years probation for what's effectively ag assault. At least they did it immediately, so I'm not going to send him that much, but we're like at -20 for this one, dude. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That pepperball gun's going quick, but at least they doled out a punishment and like they didn't wait on it. The state didn't have to get involved and all that other kind of stuff. They didn't have to be a lawsuit. Like they got
Ain't a peace officer's license.
But no jail.
A lot of it was emotion. The officer was acting on emotion. You could tell he was getting extremely frustrated by the video, and he acted out of emotion rather than the training he was probably provided.
See, all that pain is by yourself.
It was driving up and down for a long time.
Lots of
pro. Okay, whatever. This guy. Permanent damage. That's what I'm saying. Like this guy's got SBI. Now the guy stole a car, was selling drugs, and likely had a girlfriend that was underage. I'm not saying the guy didn't deserve some sort of punishment, but that's going to fall under cruel and unusual.
A little bit.
Your job is to take them to court to get a punishment, not to punish them. You are not Judge Dredd. We'll get some more second responder chronicles here.
What do you need help with? Whoa. Hey, we're actually good now, man. We got everything calmed down. Okay. Just curious, though, what was the not-so-calm part that led to the violent feng shui furniture rearrangement? My sugar dropped, and I might have gotten a little rowdy. A little rowdy might be a little bit of an understatement. But we managed to get his sugar up, so he seems like he's pretty good to go now. Yeah, I feel so much better, man. I can't thank you guys. Hey, where's my TV? You might not want me to answer that question. Hey guys, what do you need help with?
FD, I would say also nurses deal with people when you're in medical distress. You can imagine they're in pain and fight or flight takes over and people get weird. That's not an inaccurate. I'll give second responders a +5 for comedy.
There you go.
This was not an inaccurate skit, at least. 42 seconds. Wow, that's fast.
Now, this next story sounds like, well, if nothing else, a scene from an action film. A chase in Houston ended with a police officer leaping from a helicopter. We have videographic proof.
Goated.
You can see an SUV there chasing a burglary suspect through a field.
That was the Chen classic. Just go and nail somebody with a patrol
SUV
car.
seems to strike the suspect. He, however, kept running. That's when, though, a police helicopter landed.
Bro, I like how Air One's here. Like my boy was ready to square up. Look at that. He's ready to go, dog. It's probably some old timer like Vietnam vet pilot or something like that. He's going back to his Vietnam days.
Helicopter landed on the field. One of the crew members
disembarked
the helicopter and, as you can see there, tackled the suspect. We know another possible burglary suspect was also
Did he just fling his belt off?
He flung his belt off. That or it was like a radio that's like slung around his shoulder or something. He threw something. I'm trying to figure out what he threw though.
Police helicopter landed on the field. One of the crew members
what is this?
disembarked said helicopter and, as you can see there, tackled the suspect. We know another.
Yeah, what is this?
Other possible burglary suspect.
That might be his belt. That would crack me up if it was.
Was also eventually captured and taken into custody, albeit not by a helicopter pilot of any kind.
That's hilarious. What an
They
animal.
had that on an episode of Chips.
Did they really?
Oh yeah.
That's
hilarious. Ponch was working air patrol.
Of course he was.
Now,
of course he was.
I feel like that would be county. I don't know of any. Oh no, some municipalities have.
Oh yeah.
You think that was a what?
This next story sounds like, well, if nothing else, a scene from an action film. A chase in Houston ended.
Houston's gonna have. This is going to municipal, baby. Let's go. 15. Is that off base?
Hopefully he wasn't the pilot. Hopefully he was like the.
Could you imagine?
He
lands it.
He lands it and then gets other. Leaves his pilot, his helicopter,
like,
so somebody can steal it.
These goddamn patrol officers don't know how to take somebody into custody. I'm gonna plus 15 it. That's fine. That's my show. I can do what I want. 12. Air One squaring up to you. Gotta drop the belt. Yeah, Robert wants to give him 50. That's hilarious. He did square up though. That was kind of hilarious. Like, not only does he get like in a tussle with them, he's like, "Oh, you want to fight?" Takes the belt off, takes the badge off. Like, let's fucking go.
Yeah,
it's the most action I've gotten in months.
Yeah, he entered a body cam.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was probably a really heinous exchange that happened there. This is one of the OGs on YouTube Cops here.
Thousands of
This guy was a YouTube cop when I was a cop still. It was probably even when Keith was a cop still.
Police departments all across the United States. How do you know which one is right for you? Everybody is having a fantastic.
How old is this video? 6 years? It was a different time, my friend. It was a different time.
Fantastic week so far. I'm going to try this out with a microphone
It was
today,
an
but I was
elaborate
hoping to get a
test.
better sound quality for you guys and hopefully kind of drown out some of the background noise that's going on in my house. So about a month ago, I put out a video asking you guys for video topics. So there's several things. Department does not necessarily mean you should apply for your local police department. So what are some of the important traits of a good police department? The first thing to look at is what kind of reputation that department has. Are they in the news a lot for police brutality incidents, or are they in the news a lot for doing good things for the community?
I don't know that I want the reputation coming from the media.
Yeah.
I would want my reputation to come from other police departments. And you also have to take into context the reputation those police departments have, right? Because, like, I guarantee you, if you talk to Tarrant County officers, so the Tarrant County was the county guys around my specific police department, and they had, gosh, I don't know, like 10 jurisdictions, like sub-jurisdictions underneath them, right? It was pretty rare we interacted with them, especially because we were one of the bigger cities. But especially like Euless or Mansfield, when they needed help, they would take anybody that would show up. So oftentimes I would make scene, and there would also be a Tarrant County police officer that was there, or a deputy, should I say. You work enough with enough people from that jurisdiction or that agency, and you start to get like an opinion of them. That's more of what I'd want to get, because like even within depending on what the size of the department is, like even on the individual officer level, there's a wildly different like expectation for work, or even like a level of professionalism you'll get from one officer versus another. Like I worked with guys I was very proud to share a badge and a uniform with, and there was others that I thought were like a waste of oxygen. Like, I don't know. I had issues. I'm sure Keith had a very similar experience. Anybody that's...
Yes.
You ask Marines, and they probably say the same thing, you know? They're like, dog, yeah. There's dudes I was very proud to serve with, and there's people that I kind of wish, you know...
The second thing you want to look at is
things.
how big the police department is that you're thinking about applying for. Some of the smaller police departments in very small towns are fine for some people. But a lot of times it's not uncommon for them to have issues with training, with overtime, and just with budget in general. The best thing you can do is talk to a police recruiter at that department.
Do not talk to recruiting. That's the worst idea.
How at stances like that, I would recommend actually talking to the officers that work for that department. You're always going to get very honest opinions from the officers that work the street. The frontline people will never steer you wrong when it comes to applying for their department.
I would say like ride along. Without telling them that you're interested in being a cop there, just ask for a ride along. I'm curious, you know, I don't know. Doing a puff piece for a school project or something.
Oh yeah, this place is awesome, man. We get all the overtime we want. You know, good people, good staff. You don't have micromanagement.
Pause it for Dan for 5 minutes.
Don't do it. Another thing to take into account is to ask them about overtime and comp time. The last department that I worked at actually went against federal law and at times refused to pay people overtime, but instead forced them to take comp time or compensation time.
My department did that. Shout out to them.
One of mine did for a little while, but then you could never. You're short-staffed. You couldn't use your comp time, so you were just sitting there on this bucket of treasure.
Your comp time.
Do anything with it.
Your comp time would expire by the end of the year.
Yeah.
It was a good time. You know what happened then? I burned all my sick leave.
Of course, nobody wants to cause a big stink about it because nobody
I left with like 200 sick hours. Like, it was wild.
Wants to lose their job. Find out if your local police department has a union. Most police departments in the South do not have a union, and a union will cover the officers. They'll stand up for the officers even when the department won't.
I do not like unions in general. I believe in collective bargaining, and I do believe in having legal representation. That's not just like some Joe Schmo that you have to pay on your own. But unions are a double-edged sword, because unions as a whole typically are the big reason why at a lot of these police departments you have shit officers that don't get fired. Legitimately. I worked at an at-will department in a state where unions are not legal, because I work in Texas, right? And doesn't mean we had no shit officers, but it was very rare that we had some 400-pound ogre that just sat somewhere and didn't do anything. That was very incredibly rare in my police department. Versus you go somewhere like NYPD that probably has like the strongest union on the planet, and let's just say they're a frequent flyer for misconduct.
They will make sure that officers are treated fairly. And just because of about and talk to the recruiter about is their training. Training is very important between reputation, training, and I would say equipment and pay would probably be neck and neck for number 3. And by pay, I mean overtime, benefits, things like that. If you go to a police department that is only going to give you the bare minimum amount of training every year, that's probably not a place that you want to work for. I'm not saying you need to look for a police department that has one, does not necessarily mean that they have.
Also, the amount of training does not mean good training, because I've seen a lot of places that get a lot of training, but they're not qualified instructors. The philosophies that police department bought into are kind of like dust training, right? Like I have seen some really cringy shit before where I'm like, what the fuck? They're over there selling you on safe wraps and shit.
To sacrifice another. There are departments.
Not to throw shade, but
they have amazing training, amazing equipment, amazing benefits. Unfortunately, it's not like that everywhere, so you kind of have to find this. And, 2 years down the road when you're getting frustrated and things in that, again, by talking to the officers, kind of probably have other things on their mind. They're probably thinking about lunch. Why am I standing here talking? I've got other calls that are backing up. My biggest recommendation would be to do a ride-along. Do a ride-along and ask questions like that. A ride-along is ask the officer some questions. See, when you are applying for a police department, this is not something most apt.
Although you start asking random questions prompted, and they're going to be like, dog, are you IA? Get the fuck out of my car. You do that to the wrong officer. It's like some like really senior dude. He's like, I'm going to drop you off at the station. You're asking too many questions. I'm just trying to retire.
Applicants think about. I know I didn't think about it when I first started, but I'm trying to get you guys to think in perhaps a way that you have not thought about already if you're considering going through the process. Recruiters won't tell you this part. You will be assuming the burden of that police department's reputation. Think about that. What's the first thing that you guys think of when you think of LAPD officers? I don't know about you guys. The first thing I think of is Rodney King.
LAPD's a mixed bag. I know they get a lot of shit, but I've seen incredible policing come out of there, and I've also seen some shitastic stuff.
Yeah.
I would take LAPD over NYPD. I would take them over like San Francisco PD. I would take them over Baltimore. I would take them over a lot of major cities.
And I'm not saying all of LAPD is like that, but what I'm saying is if you apply for LAPD, you get stereotypes. Oh, you work for LAPD. Beating up any minorities lately? So anyway, guys.
This shows that it wasn't. This shows that it wasn't made after 2020. Because I worked for a very well-established. I mean, Arlington PD at the time was like a very well-respected thing at the time, and even I was like, hands up, don't shoot, getting accused every time I stop somebody. Like, this is no longer applicable. That's going to be everywhere you go.
Guys, it's just something to keep in mind. Again, the actions of a few reflect on the rest of us, especially in a job that hadn't. You are still going to be labeled because you of Darren Wilson. And I'm not saying what Darren Wilson did was right. I'm not saying what he did was wrong. But either way, the future officers of that department have to accept that burden and, with any luck, hopefully change it around. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. Thank you.
Oh, not bad. Left Bama for Bama traffic stop for officer. Wow, that's stupid. It's an okay video. That wasn't terrible. I like seeing more and more, and I don't know if it's just this now tradition. A lot of people sticking with these old school belts. They're like really thick leather belts. I bet you they're better for your back than these like more thin like synthetic belts that we're wearing. Yeah. Especially now, mind you, they also have like a weight bearing vest, but like this has got to cover like at least like 3 or 4 vertebrae in your back versus like the thinner, like you get like Blue Force gear or anybody like that those thinner belts tend to be they just put that load on less of your back.
No, why?
Okay, because they want you trespassed.
They want us trespassed?
Yes, sir.
But I was just illegally filming.
You were illegally filming?
Yeah.
Illegally filming?
Yeah, like the cinema.
You were illegally filming?
ILLEG
illegally.
X.
That means you can't do it. You just admitted that you can't do it.
Well, if I get permission from boss.
Who's boss?
I work for 123 Movies.
Some journalism or?
No, we were trying to just illegally film, but they wasn't allowing it.
I don't think you understand your term that you're saying. You said that you're trying to illegally film.
Yeah.
That's a crime then. You mean legally?
No, that's the opposite.
No, legally. Like, I'm legally allowed to be here is you're lawfully allowed to be.
I'm a +10 for suspects.
There you go.
This kid's just I'm here for this bit. This poor kid's like stuck on it too. Like he's like, wait a minute. Like he doesn't even know the statute or whether or not it's like enforceable for him. Like what is he gonna go like call? Who would it be? The FCC or who would he for? I guess pirating a movie, like trying to like
Pirating. So that's covered under I believe it was the Millennium Copyright Act.
God, what is it? Keith coming out with it, dog.
Yeah. No,
okay, so
we used to be able to copy video movies, and when they started that crap, and they put the masking or anti-pirating signals built into the tapes, that screwed everything up for us.
So like, but would you, if you caught someone, and that's the only thing they were doing, and obviously there's the CT warning part of it, right? So you're gonna CT warn them, and then what? Like arrest them for copyright infringement, or like I might take a report and get his information, but
it used to be at the lead of all, like after it became in effect, it was put on like a lot of DVDs, a lot of videos. Yeah, I know. Okay, so videos, whatever. But they would tell you this is a federal. I can't remember what it says. I'm gonna find it.
I have VHSs right back there. I got VHSs for my birthday. I don't know.
Who gave you VHS for your birthday?
My brother. He gave me. Hear me out. And this is the taste
Kick
of
him
my
in the
childhood.
balls.
It's
right in the balls.
The original Jurassic Park.
Okay.
It is the original Land Before Time, which was around when I was a child and still on VHS. And what was the third one? Oh, Batman, the one that had it was Val Kilmer. It was, I guess that's Batman Forever. Val Kilmer, Jim Carrey as the Riddler, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. It was a good one.
Anything?
No,
not
not
Michael Keaton was just.
Michael Keaton was, I think, a better Bruce Wayne, but not as believable to me as Batman. I'll die on that hill. I think Val Kilmer made a better Batman, but not as convincing a Bruce Wayne. Wiener punch for bro. Yes, the original. Batman Forever. Yes, Batman Forever. Only thing that should be on VHS is... I'm about to put some people in timeout. Y'all need to chill. I need to find a way to play those, though. I don't have a VHS player. This kid, though, and this is a young, strapping young man, but he is all enthusiasm, very low IQ.
Be here, but when you say illegally, that means you're not allowed to do it.
Yeah, I know, but it's like opposite day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then how do you guys afford these cameras? What do you guys do for a living?
We rob and illegally film.
You rob?
Yeah.
Rob what?
Good Samaritans.
Okay. Nice. On you.
It took him a minute to realize these kids were fucking with him. Poor guy. Then, to be fair, they also could have edited it to seem that way. But I'm gonna give, this looks like a municipal police officer.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna give him a +2 for enthusiasm.
There you go.
He should have figured it out that he was getting his leg pulled there a little sooner. And then I already gave the +10 for suspects. Nips and bat butts. I think that was the George Clooney one. That was the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Freeze. Yeah, Arnold's Freeze, my dog. What it takes to be a good cop in a bad world. This is 2 years ago. Okay.
Cop here, and
I do have mixed feelings about this guy, though he was again a pre-donut operator as far as police officers.
Yeah, I think so.
Having social media presences, I guess, and trying to win the war here, but I'd be curious.
As I look back on my own career, and I continue to want to encourage cops that are active or people who are considering going into law enforcement, mindset, relationships, and career goals. I'm going to split this up into 4 videos to be fat, lazy, out of shape cops who live up to the stereotype that cops are lazy and out of shape and eat too many donuts.
Hey, donuts are delicious.
Let's be honest.
Just work out.
Everybody loves a good donut. This is especially frustrating as we see assaults against police officers on the rise across the country for no other reason than these men and women are wearing a uniform. Full disclosure, guys, on today's video, I turned off the Google AdSense because I'm also going to be promoting a company and a service. 3 causes to a lack of physical fitness in this career and 3 solutions. So this is good for whether you need to be reminded about where you need to be in this career. If you're active hours before considering law enforcement, think about these things and prepare accordingly. The first cause is a schedule of the law enforcement officers. As if cops weren't working a lot of hours, it leaves little time for energy to dedicate to physical fitness or other core physical and perishable skills, like to be able to put into the next.
I think schedule's probably the worst thing in really, really small and really, really large police departments. Really, really small because you're not ever getting time off, and really, really large because you're not getting time off. Shift work's also kind of hard, especially like when you're a rookie, you're typically stuck on nights. Like, let's be honest. So schedules get kind of fucky. And I think now, especially like I haven't had a public gym membership in, I don't know, like 10 years plus now, just because I don't trust being out in public. And I won't go anywhere without a gun. And so I can see that being hard. Now, PT can be just push-ups and you doing your own thing. I think owning gym equipment, like in the age of Amazon, where you can kind of order anything to your house, you probably have less of an excuse there. But I think that you have to look at fitness the same way you'd look at like car maintenance or whatever. Even if it's not something you particularly enjoy, it's like how you keep yourself from dying, basically. But I think more of it's actually sleep and nutrition tends to be what gets officers in that like really toxic cycle where you just become kind of apathetic. If you're not sleeping, which I still to this day don't sleep more than typically about 5 to 6 hours a day. That's very rare I sleep more than that. I think that and like nutrition's always a bad thing. Also, we abuse caffeine. And there's obviously like stress. I think a lot of, I've noticed that most of the officers that I saw or I interact with that were like in incredibly good shape were in specialized units, so they weren't having to work patrol, right? Or were in very insulated areas where like you're not working a lot of overtime shifts. Cause like we would get a murder, I don't know, like every other week, right? You have a fatality. You have a DWI accident that leads to a fatality. Like, this is a 16-hour day. Like, I don't care who you are. If you're at work for 16 hours, you're not going home and working out. Like, you're going to skip that day, right? You can make it up on the other end, but this is a mixed bag. I think nutrition and sleep are things you should be able to control regardless of your environment. But, like, actual fitness goals, like maybe you're getting some squats. Well, Bill and I used to actually do, we used to walk for our lunch breaks. We would eat and walk, literally, because we didn't go. This was post 2020. We would walk around and stay active as much as we could. But when you're working a 60-hour work week, like, good luck.
Necessary skills and fitness development that they need back in the police academy. You just don't have it in you at this point. This job is very hard on the body due to the demands of this job that is physical in nature. We have countless adrenaline dumps that leaves our hormones truly all out of.
Oh, also, everybody that's in really, really good shape now after the age of 30 is taking hormone replacement therapy or testosterone replacement therapy. I'm not doing that because I'm trying to be able to still have testosterone into my 50s. But after a while, I probably have to if I want to stay active. But yeah, all those dudes that are like shredded, yeah, they're all taking TRT. Like I saw that in our SWAT team. They all had the exact same doctor that told them all that they had low T, and you had dudes in like their 20s that allegedly had low testosterone. I was like, bullshit. Like, I don't know. That's sussy to me. I think that gets abused a lot in both like law enforcement circles and in you'll see this a lot too in like the special operations community and stuff like that. That almost all of them are like, oh yeah, I'll get a physician to say I got low testosterone, and then yeah, if I have the same testosterone levels I had at 18. Like, yeah, at 18, I was 230 and 8% body fat. You know what I mean? And able to go run 4 miles or whatever. But yeah.
Whack. We burn through that adrenaline reserve way faster than the average person in our society. And that leads to sort of a lot of health complications with hormone imbalances and other issues.
TRT is testosterone replacement
therapy.
Yeah.
Yep.
As well as carrying around all the gear. You're schlubbing that around. You have a duty belt on with all of your
From
equipment. You're
Arrested
carrying the vest.
Development.
Whatever is going on there, it can often lead to chronic or acute injuries that leave you sidelined and incapable of actually performing at your best or training at your best for the job. If these things aren't under laziness, I don't even really think that needs much of an explanation. We all know that when we see it. We know that when we are being that, and we know it when we see
and that's probably too broad of a statement. I think laziness, either you were started off that way and stayed that way, right? Like, I had people in academy that would put in the bare minimum, and that translated to the street. Like, it's your typical government employees, I like to call them. And I think a lot of people don't realize they're burned out and stay. Up until my last week on patrol, I still was jumping calls and getting involved in shit I probably had no business getting involved in. I was still getting summons for DWIs and shit months after I was already out of policing. So that, I don't know. It is what it is on laziness.
See it in others. Lazy next to it on the goals. Get fixed on that are doing things. Do better.
This is good self-help.
And another simple solution is a gut check. Do you want to be there for your family? Do you want?
I will agree. This is actually what got me to leave policing. I realized I was valuing my department over my wife at that point in time. And I chose my wife at that point. And then my family and wanting to be there. And there was a cool conversation I had with it's actually one of our members there on the Discord. It was the ending scene, not to talk about Batman again, but it's the end scene of A Dark Knight. And you guys can go I'll go watch it on your free time, or maybe I'll put a link somewhere here. But basically at the end of that film, he has to, spoiler alert for those of you that haven't seen the movie, they have to lie about Harvey Dent and what Harvey Dent did, so that they didn't let out all the people that Harvey Dent put into jail. And so Batman takes it upon himself to be the bad guy so that they get to keep all the criminals in prison, right? And so there's this really cool scene where all of the cops, and of course in Gotham, it's an NYPD metaphor basically, but they're all running after Batman and trying to take him to jail and vilifying him as a criminal. And you are never going to, as a police officer, it's very rare you're doing it for people that deserve it, air quotes, right? Most of the people that you're helping are oftentimes degenerates and stuff like that. I'll be honest. The people that often need police intervention, but every once in a while, you'll get lucky and there's some kid you get to save, or the victim of domestic violence or something like that. Every once in a while you get to feel like a hero, but generally speaking, most of the actions you do as a police officer are for people that society doesn't want to deal with. And especially when you're acting judiciously and not paintballing some kid in the orbital bone, right? You're making the righteous decision and the correct decision, even in spite of what it may do to you as a person. The difference became for me was when the department became a piece of shit and not worth it. That was very different for me. I never expected society to give me warm, fuzzy feelings about the job that I was doing, but I did at least expect my police department to understand what I was going through and be supportive of how complicated that environment was. And once they stopped doing that, I stopped wanting to be a police officer.
Want to be there for the people that you promise to help serve and protect in your community? Do you want to be there for your brothers and sisters behind the badge with me? And all of our
it has nothing to do with your brothers and sisters. Fuck all that. You're not being a cop for the people to your left and right. You're being a cop for society.
Skills for help well enough.
I don't believe in that.
With all you. Now, if you're like me and you're not a fitness guru and you to this job and a good company, a lot of people are like personal bells and whistles, or the person who has literally zero equipment at all. Whether you're a cop looking to be a bodybuilder, the app was made by you can for this says effective guys add to the mix. Let me hear from you in the comments.
Okay, that was it. Okay, Keith, you guys stop talking. Keith.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're. You said something the other day about just being like the right person for the job. You trained officers, I did not, but I'm sure you probably have a bit more wisdom for that than I do.
Yeah.
Transitioning from the military to law enforcement. Who asked for this? You better win game night.
I'll give you one good guess.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, you're about to play.
I know who it is. I know who the party is.
We do know who the party is.
Yeah.
Okay. This is something else they asked for.
So
I had these exact same intervests. This is Point Blank or whoever the hell this company was. These are pretty okay.
Is that the dudes that used to shoot themselves?
Mm-hmm.
They used to shoot themselves with
Yeah,
like a
turn
357.
the revolver around. And
Yeah,
shoot
turn the
themselves.
revolver around.
I met the guy's son who used to do that. That was kind of rad. But yeah, I had. It's got some stones in it. I mean, if I'm gonna wear something, I might as well have something that somebody else at least trusts.
Yeah.
I'm Officer David Zamron, the Tallahassee Police Department. I proudly served in the United States Marine Corps and in the United States Air Force.
I'm Officer Daniel Brown with the Tallahassee Police Department, and I'm a senior airman in the United States Air Force.
I am Officer Lauren Drew, and I am a United States soldier.
I'm Officer Alan McBride with the Tallahassee Police Department, and I was a 173rd Airborne Infantry soldier.
I'm Officer Jacob Wynn, and I'm in the Florida National Guard as a second lieutenant.
I'm Officer
He said the National Guard.
Michael McKellion, and I served in the United States Army as a specialist.
What's the ratio for us was like almost a third of our police officers were in some way, shape, or form a veteran that wasn't in the National Guard or whatever.
Yeah.
Tight. There you go. Sit and spin. Nice.
Bro, I tell you what, you take somebody down like that, that's an attitude adjuster.
Yes, it is.
That's probably a write-up, depending on who you do that to.
If you would let go of your hands.
When I was first recruited by the Tallahassee Police Department, I was actually stationed in Italy. Being so far away with the time difference, everyone was so...
What are you doing when you're stationed in Italy? I need the chat to tell me how that works. Like, you just hang out? And like, I don't know, train and stuff? Like, what do you do? So I have like, I can't tell you how many people I knew that were either in the, well, actually most of them were in the Army. And they were like, yeah, I was in Germany. Like, I guess if you're in the Air Force, I mean, you could do stuff from Germany and, I don't know, go harass other places. But like, what do you do while you're there? I'm just curious. Eating the pizza.
About it. They were able to work with me, and during the leave that I got, I would fly home, and they were like, you know what, schedule you, let's get you in as soon as possible, and that's what we did.
When you meet with a recruiter, you kind of sit down and see what you like, if the department's right for you. Kind of like in the military, you choose what branch you want to be in.
I loved the physical aspect of it. We did workouts with Sergeant Cherry in the mornings, and I really loved and appreciated that. In-house, I moved on here. All the high liabilities were fun. I loved the pit day, probably my favorite part of in-house.
Driving here, I absolutely loved it. Firearms, though, the skills that I learned compared to my old department.
I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan. This is only because I am what you would call a subject matter expert in firearms. I'm not a huge fan of when guns are canted this much. I understand ergonomically why they do it, because it's probably a more natural way to grab. The problem is when you reholster, you're not pointing straight down, you're pointing straight down at an angle, and if you happen to be carrying a SIG 320, and the thing cooks off, right? Because it's at an angle, the type of ricochet you have versus when it goes just straight down, When a bullet goes straight down, it just kind of pulverizes itself. And the worst case scenario is you're taking shrapnel out of your leg, right? But when it skips, it's still very much lethal, depending on the angle in which it's doing. You can kind of even see it here when he goes to reholster. Watch. Hold on, let me see if I can get this to get in frame for a second. This is me being super nitpicky, but
the skills that I learned.
So let's see this here real quick. Right about there. If it cooks off, which it shouldn't, but if it cooks off there, it's skipping and potentially hitting somebody still intact as a bullet. Versus if it, oh, I went way too far now. If it cooks off like there, or hold on, I'd have to go back. Either way, if it cooks off straight vertically, at least it goes straight into the ground.
My old offensive tactics. I can't specify one thing that I liked. I loved all of it. I feel a lot better, more well-rounded, and more confident in my abilities based off of the training that I received here in the last 8 weeks.
My training for TPD has been more intense than my training in the military so far.
You probably weren't doing it right in the military if law enforcement training, and I'll be the first to admit, mostly because I had, again, people in my academy class that were both there. High school football was harder than law enforcement training. I'll be honest. Yeah. Like I think it's more complicated. I would argue with that because there's a very big academic side of it that you should be good at, as far as like understanding. You're a lawyer with a gun, basically, but it shouldn't be physically harder. That was the National Guard guy. Maybe that was the case.
Like TPD has invested a lot more in me through training than I've been invested in for training with the military.
Tampa Bay.
This workout is.
He said what?
He said TBD. That's TBD. What's that? Tampa Bay?
Maybe Tampa Bay. They said Tallahassee, I think, is what he said.
Oh, TPD.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Old ears. Okay.
Back up. You gotta hold on, right? You gotta hold on until back up.
That's what I came for. Contact.
You are expected to be able to perform just like you are in the military. People are counting on you, and you also have teammates there to support you in everything you do.
I've always wanted to help people.
Okay, you also notice, dude, all of these guys coming right out of the military, there's nobody fat here. But everybody's stacked here. Shout out to them.
In a meaningful way, and I wanted a job that kind of get to wear different hats every day. You go in, you may not see the same things every day, just kind of something fun, and law enforcement just made sense because of that.
I would say go for it. Like if you're not going to go active duty and you still want to be in the reserves, you find a department that's willing to work with you.
So I have mixed feelings about reservists in policing. Very mixed feelings. Only reason being, because I've heard the complaint about women being in law enforcement and the whole maternity leave thing, because they'll get a lot more time off than a guy will, right, for his wife having a baby, which is reasonable. I believe that if you're willing to employ a woman, you should be willing to pay them to have children. I'm okay with that. But like, dog, you would get reservists that were like gone all the time, or like
all
somehow,
the time.
Dude, somehow they were like somehow getting their training like the same weekend as New Year's, and you were like, dog. And I'm not saying they're not doing anything, because I 100% believe when you go, they're making you do something, even if it's just like mopping rainwater or whatever. But like, dog, from a manpower standpoint, that sucks. I'd be like, dog, just be active, and we'll see you when you get back, like, or whatever. That would suck, because a lot of times, or worse, they would deploy and we can't get rid of their spot, obviously.
Yeah, you can't fill their spot.
So they just kind of idle there, right? Their spot idles, and we can't get a recruit in for an academy class for that. And I'm okay with it. I want them to come back. They were typically very squared away officers. My complaint was never that they were in the military. It was just like they were always gone. It would suck a lot too, because there were times where it was sergeants that were reservists, and it was like, fuck, because they would leave, and then you'd have shifts that did not have supervision. And you were like, cool, like, hope I don't need a supervisor for approval, because now you have like a corporal trying to make that call, and they're like, fuck, we're all like nose goes, like all that kind of stuff.
And here at Tallahassee Police Department, they work with you if you want to stay in the reserves and keep building your military career.
The job is very fulfilling, but you're required to give a lot of yourself, and you get a lot back. I was in the Marine Corps, and you didn't have one specific job. You had 8 jobs that you were in charge of. It's the same thing
God's
here.
plan.
Those skills definitely transfer.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Like I said, I think especially from a mentality standpoint, I think that the coping mechanisms you develop in the military translate very, very well into law enforcement. They just tend to do better in bigger cities, in my opinion. I think they start to do really bad as deputies because you probably have way too much leash as a deputy. And then more so when you start to look at like really small towns where it's really, you're spending a lot more time talking to people and trying to like de-escalate and be more of like a community liaison. I've seen military people really shit the bed there. Just because you should just listen to me because like they're very used to that because they came from that environment. Versus like in a city cop scenario, especially if you put them in like a specialized unit where they're doing like heat or they're doing something where like I would rather take an officer that I have to rein in every once in a while, but is never going to do safety issues. Like he's not going to be too lax on stuff, or he's not going to be like I'd take a military guy there all day long because they will do better in that environment than your average cop. But man, the second you need to like have them intervene with like a mental health patient, it was always kind of painful to watch at times. What's producer Juan doing here? Everyone's saying Juan. What is this? The police trainer who teaches cops to kill. What?
Now, folks, let's be honest. I grew up in a law enforcement family. Maybe there was...
Bro, you see how open this guy's eyes are? There's a red flag.
Maybe there was a day...
Like, maybe this guy has been more alive than I am, but geez.
But if a man was asked for an ass whooping, it's a cop's job to give it to him, yes?
That's Keith's generation talking right there.
That is.
So a man needs
if he's
an ass
asking
whooping.
for it, gotta give it to him. You gotta oblige him. The citizen is always right.
Jesus. Good job. We're doing great here.
Oh.
Misconduct. Let's go, baby.
That day is gone. If it ever existed, it's gone today. There is no action you can engage in that will not be on CNN and YouTube tomorrow morning. You don't have to like it. You got to accept it. It's called reality. There's cameras and umpires everywhere.
A bunch of old timers in this audience. Oh, this is Dave Grossman, dude. My guy's a legend. Okay, I'll shut up. I won't make fun of him anymore. He deserves better than that. My dog's an absolute Chad.
What we want in a modern liberal democracy in our army is we want to turn violence on and off like a faucet.
Now, you make the point that while killing may be an inherent taboo, it's something that can be learned.
The only way you make a frightened person react in a certain way is to drill it into them, to make it a conditioned response.
Conditioned response. As soon as you see an enemy, you kill.
I kind of chuckle at times when people start talking about things like war crimes and all that. And again, I don't come from a military background, but I was like, what do you think you're paying them to do? like it, I don't know, dog. One, that, and also like shout out to this camo pattern is hot. But yeah, like, I don't know. And then I think like people are going to come out of that environment and be perfectly normal. Like, I don't want them to be perfectly normal. Like, I want my good taxpayer dollars to have trained like an absolute maniac to be good at stuff. And then when it's his time, we just, I don't know, pay him to not do that.
Yes.
You know?
Every species, every mammal has a powerful built-in resistance against killing their own kind.
Now you begin the process of orchestrating the instruments together.
Bro, this M81 is hot.
Of death and destruction.
You've made the decision to take a human life. You're a transformed creature. You're a predator. What does the predator do? They kill. Only a killer can hunt a killer. Are you emotionally, spiritually, psychologically prepared to snuff out a human life in defense of innocent lives? If you can't make that decision, you need to find another job.
There was a good interview question that I had when I was getting interviewed to be a police officer, and they put me in like a no-win situation where the scenario was going to turn out that there was an 8-year-old girl that had a pipe bomb and was running into a school. And what are you going to do, right? I was like, and I kept saying like, well, I'm going to run up and try to grab her. Like, she's too far away. Like anything I tried to do, like I'm yelling to try to get her attention. She speaks Cantonese and like something weird like that. They threw everything in there. And the idea and the complaint they had was this very discussion of, well, I am issuing you a firearm because ultimately if the decision has to be made to do harm to somebody, it's your job to do it. It was a fascinating discussion we had while I was in recruiting for law enforcement. And I remember vividly my response in that panel was, well, you issue me a vest and a gun. My assumption is that I should be able to use it or have the presence of mind to use it so others don't. And it was a sergeant from Southside who was the guy that did my interview for this. And he kind of smirked and he's like, well, I think you'll do okay. That's what he said. It was it was a very political answer, but still, like, that is technically part of your job. Your discretion be advised, if they didn't say it before.
I told him not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
You told him to get his ID,
This was a very different situation.
sir, and his driver's license.
Have your license, please.
This one, too, was another bad one. I remember this. He smoked and shot a guy. Thankfully, that guy survived, but he shot a guy that was going to go get his license. He did it in the sussiest way possible, but I remember that.
Well, you dove head first back into your car. Your seatbelt violation, sir.
I just pulled it off right there at the corner to pull in the gas station.
Well, I got help come to you, okay? I got help come to you.
Sorry.
Tell us that number one concern is what? Begins with an L. Lawsuits, liability, lawyers, I'm going to get sued.
Yeah.
Do you understand you can be sued for not shooting?
Yep.
Stand there and do nothing while people are murdered. What do they call it?
I take this back, though.
Dereliction.
There was dereliction of duty is what you're going to get sued under, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, as one of your people, Keith, you can look at Sandy Hook, and there was a real discussion about there was a deputy that failed to enter. He just stood out, and his training at the time was to make a perimeter and figure out an arrest plan, and he was the only one on scene at the time. And I think the dude was on scene for like 15 minutes or something crazy like that until somebody else showed up. And he didn't get acquitted until like recently for charges for specifically dereliction of duty. Or not dereliction of duty. I don't remember. I think it was like they were going to try to charge him with like manslaughter or something crazy like that. And there's the civil side of it where you can get sued because you failed to act. But like, I don't know. I'll listen. I'm not going to cut off Rex Grossman, but then I have a discussion for it.
Cowardice, malfeasance, dereliction of duty, deliberate indifference.
He said it.
Blood on your hands. we might call it assisted suicide. Because the one that dies next might be you, yes? There's only one way out. Know the law, know it well. Get every training opportunity you can. Don't be afraid of being sued. Everybody gets sued. Just a chance for overtime. Be afraid of being successfully sued. Ecclesiastes 3:3. Time to kill, time to heal. Appreciate you, brother. Good to have you on board.
What an
Stay
animal.
hard. Hurrah.
He said stay hard.
Proud to be a serviceman.
What
Stay
an
hard.
animal.
Read that for George. Don't pull it out. Don't pull it out.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
That was right before I got into policing. I remember when that one came out. So it's from the New Yorker. So like, let's be honest. This is going to be tilted toward this idea that it's bad, right? I think the type of training that is being demonstrated here is to try to pacify the fear element to it. When you talk about utilizing lethal force, you don't want to do it from a place of fear, because if you do it from a place of fear, and it's not that you're not going to experience fear. You're going to be afraid while it's happening, right? But you don't want to then decide, this edit is very weird. You don't want to decide to shoot because you're scared. You want to shoot because it's reasonable force, if that makes any sense. And so the difference being is kind of like the guy that pepperball gunned the kid in the face. He's doing that out of being annoyed, not out of saying it's an appropriate amount of force. It doesn't mean that no force should have been used. I'd have had no issue. They drugged that kid out of there, leg restraining him, and threw him right back in. I'd have no issue with the spit mask being applied. I'd have no issue with them even pulling him out. The kid's donkey kicking you, and you have to go give him the business. It happens. You are going to perpetuate violence on others. You're a cop. That is technically your job, right? It's when it comes out of an emotional response, and fear is one of those emotions. Fear should motivate me, right? But it shouldn't be the end-all decision as to why I end up using deadly force. And I think when you look at, and actually the military does a very good job of this, is they'll get shot at and still be like, well, I'm not allowed to shoot back. Like, technically, right? Like, depending on the circumstances, I just got to sit and chill, even though they're very much afraid of dying, right? The consequence of getting shot at could be that I die. But they have mastered that mindset so well that you only do it when you know I can. And that really should be the law enforcement mindset on it. And I think that type of training, condition response is like, it's the dog with the bell. Juan is going to go dump it in here for me real quick. Where basically they rung a bell and the saliva, it would salivate basically at the sound of a bell. Pavlov, there it is. Thank you. And so that's a conditioned response. I see something, I do something. I see something, you actually don't want that in law enforcement. Law enforcement should snark. My dog. I promise you I'm not the most well-balanced human being. I'm close, though. But really and truly, like, what you want is that I see something, I identify it, and I think about it first. Technically, and I know we're going to talk about OODA loops, and you can talk about officer safety and so on and so forth, but I should be looking at it. Let's say it's a guy with a knife, right? I should be applying the use of force continuum every single time I'm on that. Now, deadly force, I'm allowed to have my gun out, right? And he's a football field away, well, I'm probably not smoking this guy if he's got a gun in his, or just a knife in his hand, right? Even the presence of a firearm by itself, right? The presence of a firearm in a holster is very different than in his hand. And in his hand and in his hand pointed or whatever, like, there's some determination there. And as long as it's considered reasonable, you really are absolved through qualified immunity that you're making a reasonable decision given everything that was said. I did not like when people would say fear of serious bodily injury in the articulation for deadly force as law enforcement officers, oftentimes we would say this is the only thing that was appropriate to cease violence from happening. For me to accomplish peace, I had to utilize violence to go. A quick escalation of force is the quickest de-escalation of the situation, right? And so like that really does only come from demystifying violence to you. It should never come from a place of anger. It shouldn't come from a place of fear. It should be a application of the use of force continuum when it's done correctly. It's very easily said, very hard to do. And I think that has more to do with like, I think recruiting, I think some mental health maintenance probably should be into it. And I really think there should be like a policy where, kind of how like if I'm having a really hard time with a call, and like let's say I don't know, the guy's a Philadelphia Eagles fan, right? And I just lost this week because my Cowboys lose every week. And Keith's looking at me like, man, Josh really having a hard time with this. He's about to beat the hell out of this guy. And I'm clearly not objectively applying force. It is technically Keith's responsibility to step in and pull me away from that situation, right? Or I just got in the use of force, right? And maybe I smoked the dude. And he just killed my partner. If Keith's the one showing up, he's immediately taking me off that scene. He goes, because the likelihood that Josh is going to be able to apply objective reasonableness to this scenario is gone. The second he is now a victim or a suspect in this incident, right? I think there should be something to that for just regular stuff. If I see a guy that's like consistently having issues, it should be supervision's job, but they're more concerned about having manpower, and I get it. Right. But I do think at the P1 level, there should be a mechanism that if I think somebody's consistently putting me in a safety issue, that I should have recourse. I should be able to say, I don't think this guy needs to be on the street until he gets, I don't know, time off or something. Go send him to some counseling. Because there was multiple times where I worked with guys that I felt were unsafe, and I would ask for a third, and they would get all butthurt about, oh, for Josh. And I was like, no, dog, that third is for you. Don't get that twisted. Like, I do not trust you with having to go and intervene in this violent, domestic or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Robert, my dog. My Cowboys always letting me down. We won this week, but we beat like probably the third worst football team in the league. So.
Good evening to you. We're going to begin tonight with the civil rights lawsuit filed against the city of Jonesboro.
We need Bill back.
The police department and a former officer. The suit claims that they turned a blind eye to a pattern of excessive force within that department. Channel 7's Andrew Mobley was at a news conference earlier today where this lawsuit was announced, and he joins us now live with the story. Andrew.
The lawsuit centers on an incident caught on video in August in which a handcuffed inmate was beaten by an officer. According to the lawsuit, Billy Corum was caught by JPD officer Joseph Harris after attempting to escape from a hospital. Corum had been taken to the hospital after telling jail staff he'd ingested fentanyl. While Harris was taking Corum to the county jail, he began to strangle himself with a seatbelt. Harris then stopped the patrol car and could be seen in video shared by the police department beating Corum into submission before finally slamming the door on his head.
What's going on? Just trying to help himself. Yeah.
Free advice. Was some force going to be used on this guy? Yes. To keep him from hanging himself, right? Yes. It's going to be pretty hard to justify punching him in the face.
A little bit, yeah.
For the last one, because of Rex Grossman, I'll go ahead and give a plus 10 to society there. That's a plus 25. This was a municipal cop, wasn't it? Yeah, Jonesboro.
Yes, Jonesboro PD.
I'm gonna take 10. Just right off the top there, we're at plus 4.
Then, after taking Corum to the county jail, Harris was caught on body camera footage apparently hitting him again, drawing protests from other officers.
Jeez.
We're going to show this department.
Well, at least the other cops stood up. We're like, dog, you need to chill. Like.
Yeah.
But
and this city and state that Joseph Harris was not one bad apple. Joseph Harris was a symbol of of the climate of this environment. He was among several very bad apples, all coexisting and all protected by Chief Elliott and the city of Jonesboro.
Attorneys suing on Corum's behalf say that his beating was just one example of a pattern of excessive use of force at the Jonesboro Police Department. The lawsuit cites several other examples of Harris's use of excessive force.
There are multiple documented uses of excessive force, one for which he was administratively suspended. But because this was a preventable incident, Joseph Harris was a ticking time bomb that the city of Jonesboro unleashed on its citizens.
According to Kaiser,
You unleashed on this guy, not on the citizenry per se. I do think this is a little bit of ambulance chasing. If it's all being documented and they're just simply not like terminating these guys, then I think there is some level of liability on the administrators, right? Like they're doing something, but like, again, that's probably not enough. Especially if you have something like that. Like, I mean, I've been written up for driving too fast, and I'm talking like going 85 in like a 70. Like that's how picky my department was. So like I have a much lower ceiling for a lot of that stuff, just because that was the environment I was a police officer in. They nitpick the hell out of us for stuff, which was a good and a bad thing at times, right? It was like a terrible thing for morale, but I'm sure it did actually stop some level of misconduct. But yeah, dog, like I don't know.
Corum is still dealing with physical injuries caused by Harris, including impaired vision.
I just want people hearing about this story to remember there is a human being at the end of it, and it's not former Officer Harris, it's Billy.
It's also not these attorneys trying to make a bunch of money on these lawsuits.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that upsets me. If it was a nonprofit that was just simply representing these guys and taking none of the money that was coming out of these lawsuits, I would be like, look at these guys doing the Lord's work, like standing up for the little guy. But like, these guys are like, I bet you we can get, $10 million out of the city and we'll take half. Like, it's bonkers the amount of money that they will take from these settlements when they're arguing on behalf of that settlement to go to the family. It's kind of shitty.
Corum, and he's going to have to deal with this no matter what happens in this courthouse for the rest of his life.
Corum's lawyers are seeking $2 million in damages.
that's not bad.
On your side, I'm Andrew Mobley.
Okay, Andrew.
So $1.5 million to cover legal fees and $500,000 to cover his medical.
Yeah.
I'm bitter. It's fine. And we get to end on something funny. It'll be Key and Peele. Drop a comment or a like if you guys are enjoying yourselves. Hopefully we... I know there's a lot of DBZ going on here. It's like I see DBZ. That's funny. I have seen the abridged Dragon Ball Z. It's pretty good. Shout out to my kids that grew up. That's weird. ACLU for police brutality. That's a good time.
Okay, this is it.
Wait, hopefully I don't get a strike for what? Did I do something? Here's to hoping stream doesn't come to stop here with copyright. I guess Key and Peele. Oh, I didn't think about it. All right. Thoughts and prayers, homies. This might be the end. If this is indeed the end of the stream, you guys should subscribe. We do this every single week, twice a week at 7:30 Central Standard Time. And you can totally join our Patreon group for as little as $1 a month, and or become a member on YouTube for as little as $1 a month. And that gives you direct access to the Discord. Let's see what happens.
Oh, this is Discord. But yeah, go ahead.
Pray for us.
Any questions? Everybody knows what they're doing, right? Because we got one shot at this. There's no dumb questions. You guys. Did you have questions?
I'd say this is like about a third of every police department right here. Dumber than a bag of hammers. Deputies, I would argue it's less, unless Keith is going to correct me. I just feel like y'all can't afford idiots. We could, because we just needed warm bodies.
Yeah.
But there was a big chunk of police officers that I was like, I mean, are you sure you're not special needs? Like, dog, like, I'm not sure you and I went to the same type of training. Like, I don't know. It was weird.
No. So all of you guys
This
know
is coming from my
exactly
dyslexia.
what your job is. Okay. So on my count. 3, 2, 1.
There's maybe not.
Unbelievable.
You know what? I say that, but you remember that one apprehension where like the dog's biting the cops and they're pitting each other?
Yeah.
That's not that far off from what we just watched. You know what? We're gonna give media a +10 on this for realism. You depending on the county, dog. This is probably very accurate. Yeah, man.
Was I speeding, officer? You don't look like you're from around here. No, sir. You been doing any drugs tonight? No, sir. Nope. Why don't you pop that trunk, step out of the vehicle for me, please? Really?
I don't know that I've ever asked anyone to pop the trunk and step out of the vehicle in that order.
No.
I'm sure it's a movie thing, probably. Maybe it's an LAPD thing or a CHP thing. But
Probably Arkansas.
I've done now way too many body cam breakdowns to say that this type of traffic stop's out of the norm. I hate how accurate this is. Searching with no back. Have seen it before, so I can't act like this is unrealistic.
No drugs, huh?
Nope.
Well, well, well. What have we here?
No. You planted that in my car.
Oh, did I? Or did I plant this?
Also, given that I've seen people get proposed to, give pregnancy announcements, and apparently OnlyFans intros while in full uniform, this is also not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
I guess
Up against the car. Right now. Oh, spread him! Huh? What's going on?
I heard that.
Whoa, what do we have here, huh?
What?
These your colors, homie?
That's something.
Huh?
No, I don't know what that.
Or are these your colors? Or perhaps these are your colors? Or are these? Look at all these colors, man. You sure got a lot of colors.
I don't know.
Look at all of these colors.
Are you a real cop?
Freeze! What is that? Well.
That's top tier concealed carry. Behind the ear.
Behind the ear, yeah.
You got a little like Kel-Tec behind your ear, dog. I'm here
It looks like an illegal firearm. Or is it?
Oh. I don't know what this is. I'm sorry.
Pick a card.
It's not even a good fan.
Any card. You can just stick it there. Okay, you took that card?
Yeah.
Now, can you remember that card?
Yes.
Can you commit that card to memory?
This is unbelievable.
Have you done so? Have you done so? Please insert the card back into the deck randomly.
Done.
It's in a different place than where you took it originally. There we are. There we are.
Ridiculous.
Now, I take the deck like so. I give it a skasloisels and abracasrois.
Oh my god. Also had a deputy errantly shoot into a field. I have yet to find a single thing I haven't seen in real life. I hate that.
Is this your call?
No.
Are you sure?
I want your badge number.
Oh. Oh.
How did you do that?
And that is for you.
And then blades him.
After all that,
You're still giving me a ticket? Is it a ticket? Or is it a 2-for-1 coupon for my show at the Magic House Thursday night at 11 p.m.? Your call.
Wow.
I'll take the ticket.
Dick. That's pretty top notch. You know what? I'm a +10 for media so far. This has been way better than I expected it to be. I'm also upset that I can't act like it's unrealistic.
Freeze! Police! Hands up. Turn around slowly. Okay, buddy. Do not move a muscle. Up, up. Get your hands back up. No, raise them. Up. Hands up, now. No, stop. I said no moving. Put your foot down. That's good. No, easy.
These are Under Armour boots that the robber here is wearing. Actually pretty good.
Does it? No, no, pick your other foot up. Put that down. Put your foot down. Put your foot down. There we go. No, do not pick the other one up. Put that one down. Put your foot down. No,
this
not
is modern
put them
policing.
both down at the same. Okay, now you're just walking. Stop walking.
I've never seen this
now.
before.
No walking. I want you to stop walking right now. Do not get near that car. Wait, get away from it. No, don't go near that car. Don't open that door. Do not open that door. Don't open it. Do not open the car door. Don't you open that door. Don't. Do not get in that car. Freeze. Your butt better not hit that seat. Okay,
Also, shout out to the compensated, likely Glock 23. This is also the Bad Boys edition, where the stainless steel slide look with the black frame is very on par. The gun nerd in me is impressed.
Get out of there. Get out of the car right now. No, you don't. Don't you dare reach for that glove compartment. Don't reach for that glove compartment. Get away from the glove compartment. Get your hand away from the glove compartment. Don't you open it. Do not grab that gun. Whatever you do, you better not grab that gun. You better not grab that gun. Do not pull that gun on me. Put that down. Don't you pull that gun on me. No, hey, put that down. Don't do it. Damn it. God damn it.
I would have given him a +20 if he shot him once he loaded the gun.
Yeah. Damn it. Not again.
This is all about Susie Diaz. It's Susie Diaz's party. Susie Diaz is running the show. I'm just gonna show up. If she needs me to bring beer or something, I'm more than happy to. Oh, dude. Oh my God, a woman just fainted. I'm gonna have to call you back. Ma'am. Ma'am.
Word of advice, that is not how you check on people. But a realistic reaction.
911, what is your emergency?
I'm on the corner of Fifth and Metropolitan, and I just came across this woman, and she just passed out on the sidewalk here.
Okay, and is she responsive, sir? Okay, sir, is she responsive? Sir? Sir?
No.
This is how much they try to play up like fire department and dispatch shows versus cop shows. Bro, they're at +40 so far, bro. I'm actually getting chuckles out of this. This is pretty good so far.
Sorry.
I will say though, however, the first inaccurate thing that's happened so far is how attractive the dispatcher is. That is not accurate.
If you can hear me,
she's not responsive.
I meant what I said.
Beautiful.
That is not relevant to this emergency, sir. An ambulance is on its way. In the meantime, I need you to check
hairy
her pulse,
hands
sir.
are-
Check her pulse, right? Check her pulse. Okay.
Does she have a pulse, sir?
Oh, she does, but her skin is so soft.
Sir.
She doesn't have a ton of makeup, but she's the kind of girl that just doesn't need it. You can see that she put a lot of thought into her outfit, but not like she's trying too hard.
She's perfect.
Sir, may I remind you that you have not spoken a word to this woman. I need you to see if she's breathing.
If she yeah, okay, hold on.
Sir, I need you to stay on track.
Okay, she's not breathing. But look like
I have never worked in call take, but I bet this is pretty accurate.
my life is not breathing. You gotta save my baby!
Do you know how to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I need you to administer that now.
Okay, okay.
You need to give CPR, not mouth to mouth.
Yeah. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's disrespectful. I have to be respectful for her.
Sir, this is the only time it's okay to put your mouth on an unconscious woman. Do it.
I just didn't picture it happening this way. There's butterflies in my stomach, and I don't want to make
Dan,
this up.
you
It's
to
so
chill?
rare to find
Sir, if you can hear me, an ambulance is on its way.
I'm sorry.
Robert.
Gosh, my head.
Sir,
I'm so lightheaded.
sir, stay with me.
This is what it feels like to be in love.
Stay with me, sir.
What it must feel like when you
Chest
find the one.
compression.
Sir, 911, what is your emergency?
There's an attractive, confident, well-to-do black man. He just passed out right here on the street.
Okay, ma'am, listen very carefully. I'm going to need you to marry him.
Oh, okay. Shouldn't I give him, like, mouth-to-mouth first?
Yeah, girl, get you some.
Get you some.
This is 288. I'm investigating the report of a disturbance.
Roger that,
By myself.
Because I got a popsicle. You think...
Oh, rats. Whoa. Watch out! That black guy's got a gun and he's gonna steal your banana!
What?
Go, 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 go. Come on. Sir! You're gonna have to leave the area. There's been a disturbance.
Jeez.
Go, for your safety, sir. Go now, please. Go, go, go. Keep going. Ah! Big fuzzy gun!
Big fuzzy gun. Why is this shooting more realistic than the rookie? As far as like the gun and them having blanks, and I'm big disappointed. None of this is justified. Y'all need to chill.
I'm sorry, Chief. It was me. God! God damn it!
Vanilla? Flavor you got?
Lemon zinger.
Lemon zinger like that tea? Oh. What's wrong?
Oh no.
What's going on?
I got that brain freeze.
Oh man, the you do? You ain't got no brain freeze. Hey, dude, relax, man. You from the hood? Yo, you going man? Hey, no, I got who? What? What you 5'0"?
Stand up slowly.
I can't believe this, man. I've known you since 6th grade.
You under arrest for the murder of Benny Tech-Theratrix. Get him out of here.
Benny
Man,
Trek.
you a punk ass brain freeze mother.
You going to jail for a long time. In too deep.
I'm in too deep.
I got caught with the brain freeze.
I'm lactose intolerant, so the bathroom would have been what got me as an undercover froyo connoisseur. I'll give it a like. This was actually hilarious. Lol. Done. Okay. That is the stream. We didn't get taken down. Shout out to... I guess, does Key and Peele, do they own themselves? As far as, like, their content? No, this is Paramount Plus. Shout out to Paramount Plus.
There you go.
I guess being cool about it. I'm going to move away from them. Just so... view my channel. They don't get angry at us. Anyways, go check it out. Producer Juan is going to get mad at me if I don't say anything about the merch. He worked really hard on that stuff. Plus 69 for McDonald's. But anyways, Air One. Oh, dude, Air One was pretty rad. They should have done that skit. The Air One squaring up with the suspect was French kiss, incredible. Thank you to everybody that hung out. Go ahead and drop a like. I will be doing a Thursday stream, but I cannot do a Thursday after party. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an after party today because I have to drive right after stream. So I might also start Thursday stream at like 6:30 as opposed to 7:30. I will update you guys. If you guys want updates on that, you guys can join our Discord. You can do that either through the membership program here in YouTube or through Patreon. As little as $1 a month gives you direct access to said Discord where we do after parties, which is where we hang out. I also do like hiring advice. You can talk to way more experienced officers than me, like Keith, and he gives you dad advice periodically. Unless you find him, he can find you annoying. He can ignore you.
There's that too.
We just started up a veterans thread for you guys that are of that disposition. We also have some really cool stuff going. Producer Juan's yelling about Halloween-themed merch, so I guess go check that stuff out. Abby, it's good to see you. Of course, you came and running at the end. You could go watch the rest of it. It was a good time. If you guys would like, I will never... Anyways, for everybody else, we will see you guys on Thursday. I do think we still have some produced content that we're going to put out. We're going to have to film sometime soon. We will get that stuff done. But until next time, for everybody else, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thin Boo line. I hate you on Switch. Final scores for those of you that care. I did keep score. State Boys got +5. They were the winner, I guess, as far as first responders are concerned. County was at -20. Municipal scaved just out of it with +4. Second responders got +10. Dispatch got -15. Suspects were at +10. Society was at +25, which is pretty based for society. Media's at +40, which is the overall winner for the day. And feds, as they rightfully deserve, are still at -100 because, yeah, it's the feds.
That just is.
I love everybody else here. I will see the rest of you guys here in the after party. Until next time, peace. Oh my god, it's a good song, man.
Good night, everybody.